the Uncle Waddy's death penalty archive collection. Nice, you can tell it's very, very hot today. We're on the way in to meet Jody Boyle, who is the archive specialist in the science library, and also Dr. Jim Acker. Great in it. So that's where we walked from just a second ago. They show different people, international policymaker, Gregory McGuire, he's an author, famous author over here. So there's several of these display cases all around the campus. So they've got some prominent people who've finished this university. Well, it is fitting that a year ago today, my mother died, and then we're walking along right here on the campus, and look at this squirrel. She would love this. Hey, there's a little jumpy. Where a squirrel should be, and it did just jump. Look at that. Wow, it's beautiful. Very muscular looking. Almost. Yep, that's for my mom. I wish I could remember the name of the architect of this university campus, but it's a person that's well known, not by me, obviously. But they say that it was this design, this style, is his trademark design, something very unique to him. You can see, of course, more buildings in the background, more of the tower-type buildings. And just behind the science library is a football stadium and an indoor sports arena type thing. But you can get an idea of the science library, how big it is. And this is where Uncle Waddy's death penalty collection is held, up here. Look at how green it is out there, Kate. It's very warm today. It's probably close to 75, 80 degrees.
Yeah.
You come up and look at this case up here. See the picture up top? It says M.W. Espy Jr. was widely recognized as one of the foremost historians of legal executions in the United States. Beginning in May 1970, Espy began the first scholarly quest to chronicle and document more than 15,000 government-sanctioned executions in the United States since 1608, an effort that formally became the Capital Punishment Research Project. Espy uncovered more than 8,000 previously unknown executions, and his work went beyond simply tallying the total number of executions. And it goes on and on. His work was eventually donated for research in the university libraries. It's held here in the Department of Special Collections and Archives. But this is a little small display case exhibit that they have. That is like a letter sent to Waddy from the governor, executive assistant to the governor of the state of Nevada. A letter from Henry Schwarzschild, who was the ACLU president at one time and was the figure who got Waddy the job at the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa, the law school. Another picture of Waddy and some samples of some index cards that he used to document executions. He gave a lot of details. We'll see more of that when we get inside. And then you can see over here, Kay. sponsor is Barnes & Noble.
And you can see that it's
familiar?
90.
He does, and we saw the exhibit downstairs, first floor, and videoed it earlier. That's nice.
Well, what's going to change is this is department banner. It's how this looks. We want this to be a floating text box that will follow you down, that you can always navigate from, but that's an IT issue that we're working on. It doesn't affect the way the arrangement or description. So it's 90 cubic feet. I kept thinking something in the 80s, a little bit more, and gives a biographical sketch of what Espy and Riverside. So we have within the death penalty archive, it could be papers of a historian like Watt Espy, but it also could be organizers or advocates like Abe Bonowitz, or a proponent of the death penalty like Ernest Vandenhoek, whose collection does get used quite frequently. There also could be groups, the National Coalition to Abolish the Death Penalty, for instance. We have other areas. We have manuscript collections here for business and literary organizations. We also have university archives here, which document the history of the university. We have the German and Jewish intellectual emigre collection, which are 100 collections of intellectuals who fled Nazi Germany for political or religious reasons and settled mostly in New York City.
Wonderful.
And the materials are here. And these are the Espy papers.
All these.
All these.
All the way down to here are the Espy. Except for the materials that I pulled off. The gaps are where we pulled out
I've never
material.
seen it this organized.
Yes.
Be careful.
No. I've known him before. I don't want to cooperate. No, thank you. So each of the boxes corresponds to what you would see on the finding aid, and that's how we would know to come back and pull. And you could see the way each state is organized. It's alphabetical by state. At the end, we put multiple executions. Sometimes unknown executions get thrown folder. City and county records come afterwards, then statewide records. And then
That's Ohio. So all alphabetized, is that right now?
That's thanks to Carrie.
That took a lot of work, I'm sure.
Yes, it did. Carrie and 3 students. I'm working on that.
I've seen pictures of Watt. Look like he's dressed in his pajamas, smoking a cigar, banging away on
one of the
manual
typewriters I think was sent up here. Is that
Do we
correct?
have one of his
Yes, we do. It's
typewriters?
over there. I can show you.
There was a second one we found. I believe I gave that one to Brian as well. Imagine Watt during the internet.
From last
Oh my goodness.
He was already emailing me a little bit with a copy service and all, but he didn't know that what was going out, so he was sending CCs and VCs, things that you wouldn't necessarily share with a wide range of people. So I discovered these old emails. Wondering, why did you send that to so-and-so?
Let me pull. This is how it did travel.
It hurt to get a little bit of that video of that. Look at that. That's
Some of our undergraduates have probably never
Seen a typewriter. I don't think. What is that unusual object that
there
you
were
have
also
here?
some hats of his, and I think a cane. But they were
Really?
probably in a couple of things, right? In a briefcase. I don't know if you did anything with it or not. But.
The briefcase is a little more. That is sitting in our processing room. That's less.
We thought Michael Jackson's hat was important. You've got this cane. Look at.
Yeah.
That is great.
Those are his personal items.
And that's his pen in there or something? Or?
Yes.
Looks like it was.
Yes, he did keep it
It's
within
not
that
one of his
material.
cigars.
No.
We could do some. I'm sure those are his hairs. We could do some DNA testing.
I bet you could get some DNA, yeah.
I'm
You
sure.
never know. Florida B. Florida. He wasn't a professor, but they had these sheets that came out of class of students in Florida, and you would see that for every one, you'll see that Watt Espy would type up, or for many of them, information about the person, their method of execution, and where, and the date for that. So, and then you'll have more recent material with. You'll have emails. It was printed for Michael Radelet, but again organized by the person's name. You'll also see he would have the race of the person as well. Okay, we're going to get into Ted Bundy very, very soon. No, Judy. Yes.
Banana.
Yes.
And then you'll see
I see the name Bundy.
Ted Bundy, and that's my handwriting, and you'll see it's in parentheses, or it's in within these to show that the archivist wrote that and that the records creator didn't do something like that. And then you'll start seeing all the Ted Bundy material. That he has editorials from Anna Quinlan, he has newspaper articles, he has articles, pictures, whole lists of individuals. Ted Bundy, there's ample material on Ted Bundy. But you'll see, like, he wrote, obviously he took that from True Police magazine, but years before Bundy was executed. He has the materials just based on the crimes themselves, plus more recent materials.
And I found out from talking with Mike Radelat that Bundy's parents spent time at his home when they would come down, because Mike was teaching at the University of Florida. And Mike had Bundy's ashes in his closet.
Oh,
Do you know this as well?
I heard him tell a story about this.
So that's why I'm thinking about Bundy, because it's down there, the area where we live.
Did your uncle visit any inmates on death row or correspond with
I know he corresponded with some.
Memorabilia, and he has to make sure we got, they have an event, Jeff gets the memorabilia out ready for them. He has to make sure. Pretty careful inventory.
Sometimes you'll find that he has these live documents that he created himself, not from. He was going, I'm trying to figure out, like, this is by state. Look at how he would list. So we would put the name, the occupation, the county, crime, other information. Date of execution, of course, their age, their race. So that's how we can see. You can see some states have more than others, and more information than others. You know, other times though, if it was just an unidentified slave, this is clearly probably from a slave revolt. Let me just see if the date is on here. 1795. You could see all of these individuals. He was just reporting. Unfortunately, their names were never recorded into history in at least a public record that he would be able to access. So he would say, you know, it was just a slave. But what I think is so wonderful about Watt Espy is that he sort of gives a record to individuals like this, like slaves or people who have just been unidentified to history. They do have, you know, he counts them in his, in his tally. So that's, I think, it's important. Even if there are no other records that exist for these people, unfortunately. But it is.
It's amazing, right? It's just to see his writing.
I know.
His writing is not.
No, it's not bad at all. It is quite legible, comparatively speaking to others, you know, whose papers we have processed here.
This is
Fred McMurray from My Three Sons, an old TV show.
I didn't know all this. I learned a lot.
No, there's John Tower. He was a congressman, and he was killed in a plane crash, if I remember. But there's I should look at it more professionally. But sometimes, again, congressmen or other individuals who. They would have their names.
It's hard to believe that he really wrote to these people.
He did. He really did. I mean, he wrote.
And they got what he wanted.
Yes. You know, and again, there were some members of Congress, clearly, like in the 1970s, and some of them were not as well known. But this one was not. This was to one of his friends, I believe, who also got it. But it's just sort of interesting. I do like some of the photos. But this gentleman, I'm just trying to think, this is clearly also from someone from you know, Latin America, perhaps, or South America, that he also wrote to.
It's funny in a way.
It is. I was trying to find Joe Biden to see if I could see him, but this gentleman has quite a glamorous shot here. I know for a member of sort of funny. members of the military. Bob Packwood, he was a senator, if I remember correctly. This gentleman member of Congress from Texas. Again, another very glamorous-looking man. Oh, and Claude Pepper. He was a senator from Florida.
Oh.
He was involved in a great deal with healthcare, I think. There's a Claude Pepper archive and library at the University of Florida. That's Mario Cuomo. He was governor of New York in the 1980s. He was governor. I remember him.
Oh.
Yeah. Congressman from Rhode Island. I mean, it's across, Democrats, Republicans, across the country, the South, the North.
And who is that?
This is someone's card from Congress. Dick Schweiker.
You would smoke hot like this?
Yeah, and then this gentleman here is clearly one of his international autographs from Japan.
Interesting. That's funny.
Baker? He looks very serious. With the flag. His cufflinks are showing so nicely. Oh my. Hello. I don't know where he's from.
No.
Again, just a lot of other individuals. This one is much older, from 1948.
Yeah.
So that's why we have the acid-free paper in front of it to protect the other images or protect this from.
1940.
This is the one. Yeah, we know. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a regular library. This one's better though.
Yeah, this is where we need to go. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, so we're here at the UAlbany Science Library where Uncle Wattie's research is. I'm coming back this afternoon with Kate, but it's obviously a summer session. They're doing a lot of construction as well on the campus.
Here tonight, Alan, for your lunch. It'd be nice.
That would be nice.
Professor to take you out for probably a hamburger.
We've got to go to the third floor. You can see some of the older buildings, probably from the 60s, 50s, 60s. It's a big campus. See, Uncle Jim, I'm slimmer than you are. Look at us. I'm slimmer than you are.
Your legs are skinny.
Oh no, you're not going to hold the door for your great nephew.
Yeah. You drop that camera.
Yeah, we need to go up to the third floor. Yeah, we can go to 3 from here, I think. Yeah.
Later ledgers. I just pulled a sample.
1986.
So you could see he has some that are chronological and some we have other ones.
You say you have 20 of these ledgers approximately.
And I would say with the ledgers, I want to say there's about approximately 4.
Oh, and 20 boxes of
20
cards.
boxes of these.
Okay.
About 50 boxes of these of state, federal, international,
Okay.
military, and Indian tribal records.
Okay.
Yes, it is. And you sometimes wonder why he chose one method of record keeping and then another method of record keeping in the same book. And
In the same book.
yes, it is funny, and we wonder.
Well, he was a character. He was a politician, and that explains some of it. Because you know how they do. They do one thing today, one thing tomorrow, different, the same book.
Yes, exactly.
Doing Washington lines. I think what it
They sure do. We have his, also, I just pulled again, a sample of his biographical materials too. So these are, any photographs we have of him are
Wow.
in here. News clippings about him or where he's quoted in the article. We have several copies of Executions in the United States in this series.
Who did that?
His
That
book.
was his book that you
Yes,
did.
well, it's his book with John Smyka.
Okay, I have a copy of that.
And we, if you want to also read about his difficult relations with Smyka and others about the creation of this book, that's in Series 3, the
Okay.
Capital Punishment Research Project, which I do encourage people to read because Espy thought there were too many errors in this book. He was very unhappy.
Was that
about
involving the
that.
gentleman that was in Michigan, for example?
Yes.
Or the okay.
Yes.
Can you show me some photos of him or newspaper clippings, maybe?
No, you want to put that back.
Oh, certainly. Then we can do that. That's why they're all organized, so you can take out materials. Let's see. We've got our photographs of Espy.
I
And
want to
so-
compare them with the ones we already have. Wow, and with his signature
With his
as
signature
well?
on this one, and then it's a little boy.
Yes, yeah, we got that. That's
I can
cute.
recognize the face.
That's in
after
front of
a
his
while.
home, his boyhood home.
And then there's some more. Yeah. Also as a child, and in this one, I thought that
Yes,
was
that's
interesting.
great. When
And it's dated from Orlando, Florida, and I wonder
that probably is just the
for the studio.
studio.
I wonder if they.
But he
had-
was in a military academy in Georgia,
In
school in
Georgia,
Georgia,
okay.
yes, for a while.
And let's see, there's some pictures of him, I guess, with his father. Right here, I believe. Is that his?
No, it's not
Jack-
his father.
This is Jack that looks like Roosevelt. That's Waddy.
But that's not our
That's not
grandfather.
your grandfather. I wasn't sure. It was an older man who
Yeah.
could be of the right
This
age.
is another one very close to his dad anyway. They were in business together. Jack Bridges.
Okay, so he was at the bank as well?
No,
Oh,
he was
he's
in
a-
the
The
insurance.
insurance
Insurance
business.
business,
But he was on the bank's board of directors.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he was director.
Oh, I see. And then this is him. It looks like they're at a radio station, and it looks like a group of young boys.
He was in the,
FFA.
He was in the Boy Scouts, even took a trip to Europe with a group, I remember.
Yeah, they went to the International in Washington.
Okay.
I know he went there.
But I see several pictures that I don't have copies of.
Who
I'd
is
love to
this?
get scans. Is that possible?
Who is
Okay.
that?
Sure.
That's Waddy.
Oh, I thought that was one.
No. Waddy's the younger.
Yes, he's on the end.
But this one,
You could just tell this. This is the picture we're using for our finding aid.
Wow.
And if you saw the exhibit downstairs, there's a case with materials. This is the exhibit. This is the photo we like to use because we think this is very illustrative of his work, and his expression says it all about
Okay.
the images that were on
well,
the
you'll
wall of
love
his
the ones,
house.
and I didn't bring them today because I couldn't find an envelope that was large enough for one of them, and I've been in touch with a photographer who actually has a summer home in Woodstock, and he has the original negatives, and he will do prints and send them to you, do whatever.
Okay, well,
But there are several pictures of him in his office like that.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
great.
I wish they had the dog. I wish they had on that darn monkey. He brought a monkey back there. I'm telling you.
But that was Dad's monkey, wasn't it? No, I thought Dad
They
one
took
time
it
had a,
over. I mean, they had to. He brought it there. Went off somewhere and got in
they had
the
a pet
garage.
monkey, and
That was a
they-
pet monkey, but, and I wanted to go in there and play with it, but every time I get it, they buy that shit.
I can
Somehow
imagine.
the story was that Granddad Major went to Atlanta with someone to get this monkey, and the monkey just loose in the car. They drove back to Alabama from Atlanta with this monkey.
Sitting in the car. Oh,
It's-
my.
The other thing that he did, his daddy did too, it was interesting why he said that, but he was a hunter, his father, and he and another guy went hunting, and they had a coupe Ford car back in the 50s or 40s. And anyway, they were hunting, they came in, and he put the other guy out next door, and then he forgot to put the dog out. And the next morning, they went out there, and the car was shredded. The dog got out into the front, and they called him Adam, atomic bomb from the I mean, you couldn't believe it. And the dog
The
just
dog was
went
angry.
crazy trying to get
Sure,
out.
sure.
I don't blame him, but still, after what it looked like, these are news clips.
just get one down. I'll take it.
One second. Let me
I can get it now. Here, hold that. Jim, hold it.
I have to get the other one.
Which one? The one up top?
It is heavy. That's the only reason.
There we go.
Thank
That
you.
is very heavy.
That is heavy. I'm just gonna double check which one is. We have better stools that
I
allow
was
you
gonna say, I
to.
thought that thing was on the, it is on the roller.
It is. So there's another one. So there's materials from Fletcher. So we can bring this one out.
Okay, I'll take it.
Oh, you sure? Are you sure? No, no, it's pretty heavy.
So does his end right here?
Yes,
Okay.
down there at the bottom.
Yeah. Okay.
Right here. And these have all been digitized. I'm waiting for. I'm going to put those in a box.
Okay.
They've just been digitized.
And I think a couple of those I sent to you, didn't I? Maybe in that box.
Maybe it's part of those materials.
And those are all were things I got out of his home. You know, it was his home was very disorganized.
No, but this is what it looks like now. The collection, neatly boxed,
Well, this is
neatly
what
organized.
can you do for this? That's what to do with his mother, my sister. They got a round pasteboard carton that something came in, and she took the old Wiregrass farmer with a newspaper, and she put it around that, glued it on there, and it's beginning, after 25 years, it's beginning to turn. Can you do anything? Can you spray that with? I see this acid.
They have an archival spray of some kind, right? Or
Well, most things most archivists would tell you to put most things, not touch them too much.
Well,
Put
this
them in a
is
box.
glued.
Glued.
It's glued on there. It looks good, and it's still, it's readable. Everything on there.
The preservation is. I mean,
Let's walk over back. You got to go ahead.
this is in one of the files. You can see newspaper clippings. Later we'll add that one that Beverly sent.
Look at here. This Georgia has got more than any I've seen there. I bet it's 100.
100 just on that one page.
Columbus everywhere over here.
You see a few of the autographs and Waddy got. This is a letter from Joe Biden, who was then the United States Senator. October 1973. There's his picture. And then here's one, Arthur Ashe, who wrote Waddy, gave him his autograph. And then we've got, you may remember the Bob Packwood, the scandalous Oregon senator or congressman, U.S. senator, United States Senate, Bob Packwood.